The road from Nairobi to Athi River is more than 40 kilometers. It is a journey of hope, resilience, and commitment to our planet. Welcome to Daystar University, the final stop for today's Cycle for Climate ride, where the finish line marks only the beginning of climate action.
Good morning, my name is Kapwe Timothy, and we are live right here in Daystar University, Athi River campus, where cyclists have just completed a 40-kilometer ride from Valley Road to here. But the ride doesn't end there. Stick with us as we bring you inspiring speeches, powerful panel discussions, and action activities. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
And today we are privileged to have one of our cyclists in Daystar University. Maybe you can share with us what inspired you to start this cycling exercise.
So, hello there. Fresh, vibrant from Daystar. My name is Enoch Kiveka. Yeah, a rider. I'm not only a rider, but an avid cyclist. So, first, who we are, Youth for Climate, advocate for cycling, and also bicycle revolution, our vision. And the biggest thing is, I speak Sporkish, like I love sports. Sport inspires me to do this. First, there is a need for change. Second, we need to involve everyone holistically. And that is now or never. So, this is connected in my life, with my life, by my life. And I'm a passionate environmentalist, so doing the journey 15,000 kilometers from Kenya to Belém, today being a teacher, it's more trying and building African real-time climate stories for the COP30. Thank you.
Thank you for responding to that question. The last question is what message would you like to send to fellow Kenyans when it comes to climate change?
My message is one people, one planet, and one passion. If we destroy our home, there is nowhere else. Within our borders lies our heritage, biodiversity, where we breathe, where we harness our energy. Let's have a common mission and a vision. Because if we destroy it today, tomorrow is just an illusion. It will be promised, but will not be there until we are in here, then we'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The voices here today speak not only for Kenya, but for the planet, from the government representatives to grassroots activists. Each word is a reminder that fight for our environment starts with us.
The Environmental Club, please come and join us at the front. Thank you. Please let's welcome them. Isaac Wafula, Environmental Advocate, Strathmore University. Please let's welcome him again. Frederick Anyanga Anaga Onyango, Environmental Advocate and Community Leader, Presbyterian University of East Africa. And Magdalene Muita, Communication Lead for the Act for Food Kenya Chapter Campaign, Technical University of Kenya.
So just to finish up the introduction part of it, my name is Dorcas Nashurua, and I'm currently a student at Daystar University. I started in 2021, but I had to leave school for some reasons, but I'm glad to be back. Now pursuing a degree in community development because of the passion that I have with communities. And I'm also the founder of Isilan Community-Based Organization. This is an organization based in Kajiado County, but we also work closely with Samburu, Narok, and also Baringo County. So it's such an honor to be in this panel, and being the topic of discussion being climate change, which is I would say is the core of my heart, serving as Miss Climate Kenya, and the first Miss Climate in the whole world from Daystar University. Then I am so delighted to be in this panel today. So moving on very swiftly, I'm going to start with Magdalene. And you have mentioned that you do much of communications and storytelling. I know so many of us love stories, right? And for one, for social media. So, Magdalene, if you could please tell us, what storytelling approaches have you found effective in moving audiences from awareness to tangible action?
Thank you so much for the question. So one approach that has worked throughout the time that I have been serving as a communication lead for Africa Food is touching on the human value on empathy. As we all know, storytelling is something that has been with us since the beginning of civilization. Stories remind us of our history. Stories connect us, stories help us make sense of whatever is going on around. So in communication, an approach that we have always been using is making sure that as we put out the facts out there about indigenous foods, which are also, they also live at the same time with climate action, because you see that indigenous foods, they're nutritious and they're drought resistant if you compare them to other foods like maize and the rest. So like when you tell a story, like showing people, the people who are affected by these climate change factors, showing people like different innovations in climate change, showing success stories, going beyond, you see like the way our first keynote speaker said, mostly Africa is portrayed or is known with the negative stories like the droughts, the floods, but in storytelling we look at showing people beyond the negative side. We bring in the hopeful side of life. We show them that they're actually positive side. There are people who have faced these challenges, like for example the way that our moderator Dorcas is saying, from the people of the Islam community, they saw that they had a problem, but they didn't just sit like wait for someone to come provide a solution for them. They took it upon themselves. So when you go out there and we show people that, look at the people of Islam, they had a problem and they went out and found a solution for it. You strike that feeling of empathy within people and they are able to connect with your story. They are able to feel inspired to even join the movement. And something else, once you connect to the human value of empathy with people, you'll also motivate them and inspire action. Because you see, for young people, when there is no motivation, they won't do much. And also, like, if they see fellow young people actually taking action to solve problems that exist, they feel inspired and they see that even my effort as an individual, if I try to do something to change my community, it won't go to waste because someone out there is seeing and I'm actually seeing my community being transformed. So hitting on the human value of empathy and showing people that your actions really do matter and your actions bring out this certain sort of thing, and like actually encouraging people to engage with their stories, encouraging people to contribute and even join the movement is one approach that I am learning even as I grow as a journalist and as a storyteller, and it is really working for us at Art for Food. Thank you.
We're going to have our next session of panelists, and I'm going to just give a brief introduction. So we're going to be having our next group of people coming, and the panel is panel 4, Amplifying Children's Voices for Planetary Health. The panelists are Kitasi Wanga, Action Aid International Kenya, bringing perspectives on grassroots children-led advocacy and participatory governance. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome them with a round of applause. Dina Gaki, Community Resource Manager. Dina Gaki, Community Resource Manager. Child and Youth Programming. Jen Juguna, a Global Youth SDG and Climate Advocate. Jen Juguna, are you here? Thank you, Jen. And then Richard Lugata, Director, National Council of Children's Services. Karibu kabisa. Please can we give them a round of applause?
To the Gen Zs, it's like they actually have done our content. So we will be very brief and have more of engagement with the audience so that we really make use of the time. So as you've seen, this session is looking at amplifying children's voices in the climate discourse. So first I'll give each of my panelists a moment to introduce themselves, and they say what they do specifically related to children and climate health. The previous panel, everyone is a founder. Yeah? Everyone is a founder and they're doing very serious things, the Gen Zs, and we really appreciate. So maybe, just maybe, we may have founders here, but let's see.
And thank you, audience, for having us here today. Kitasi Wanga is my name. I'm currently the program manager for Resilient Livelihoods and Emergencies at ActionAid. So, resilience, livelihoods, emergency work, that is at the core of it. I'm not a founder, but I've founded programs together with colleagues. I am currently the secretary for Locals Empowerment of Good Governance, a serious organization on the coast that is doing a lot of work. I am the founding secretary, and he has good funding now, is producing this work. I will end it there, but before I give it to my colleague here, I just want to use your 10 seconds to say that ActionAid is a global federation working in 45 countries. In Africa, we do in 19 countries, and our biggest role is to challenge poverty. We are challenging poverty, and in doing this, we have two critical targets. We program around women and children, especially girl child. Thank you.
And to you, Jean, now, because you have mentioned on how some of the processes that involve children and the policies that are there, maybe you share with us what innovative approaches that we can now look at or explore. And I like what the last point around picketing and just if you're agitated to speak out, but you will share about innovative approaches that you can use.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the first thing that we can do as a country is to incorporate climate education in schools, from kindergartens to primary schools to high schools. Because most of the time, especially in Kenya, what you see, people learn about climate change when they get to university, but they don't understand it from, a perspective, like they're not taught about it from a younger age. So I think that will be very important, so that as children are growing up, they understand what climate change is. Aside from that, also through that program of Women in Climate Science, we are also looking to partner with institutions, university, primary schools, high schools, to also educate children on climate science, and also, give them ways that they can also be part of the program, for those that are interested, and in that way they'll be able to access the most experienced experts in climate science, so that we can have intergenerational dialogue between them, and also mentorship. Yeah.
As you can hear from our passionate panelists and great minds out here that are ready to take climate change to the next level. As we keep on listening to the next speeches, let's really have that mind to change our climate.
And I think the conference today, I remember when I got this request, I had a few other things that were really competing. But I think the African story on climate change, and many people getting into climate change space, and climate change cutting across every sector, it always gives anyone who is in this space to come and share ideas. And that's why I spend my time, early in the morning I say, the first thing I will do today is to learn this conference. Most importantly, when I was listening to the introduction on the highlights of my portfolio, I also felt, yes, that sounds really neat. Now, some of the countries have said, limit the food production to the area community. If you are producing in Murang'a, then you are supplying to Nairobi and environs. If you are producing in Homa Bay, let the food be utilized within the region. If you are producing at the coastal region, you don't have to stop to bring the food product to Nairobi. So, policy perspective. So we really need people who are going to work on that. Tunisia is doing very well in terms of trade policy. But Tunisia is trading more with you. But we need the Africa trading model. I mean, what would not make it great for Kenya to trade effectively with Tanzania? Why would Kenya not trade effectively with Uganda? Uganda? Why can't Kenya trade effectively with Rwanda? Intra-African trade. I think those are some of the areas that we're going to really make Africa lock or unlock some of these challenges. Now we're talking about interventions in places like Namibia that are doing very well in terms of looking at their local products. Namibia are simply focusing on their services and they're doing very well in terms of food production. Looking at inwards, there are also big time in conservation of natural resources.
Good morning, climate changers. Good morning. I hope you've all had an insightful time from the knowledge that has been gotten from Dr. Chiwao. And we appreciate for that. And I'll give it to the audience. Any question for Dr. Chiwao?
So would you kindly share how we can be able to get water in our taps? Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed those educative speeches up until now. We are almost wrapping up our event. We are now heading to the section of learning some trees and also a tree planting session that will also be fun, and I hope you will enjoy.
I think now they give you the 3 different scenarios. One that is flourishing and the one that is struggling. But these ones are ready for sale, eh?
I think
you just
so.
carry.
This one would just carry.
Which tree is this?
Support germination.
Alafu, it is not prone to microorganisms, fungi. It's more common in hydroponics farming, soil-less farming. So you use especially the cocoa peat because it's also very lightweight.
And that's it from Athi River for Cycle for Climate 2025. The journey from Valley Road may end here, but the mission for the planet still continues. From Daystar and our partners, we thank you so much for planting and riding with us. My name has been Kabwe Timothy. See you next year.